So I was recently in Belgium with two of my kids, and we went to the Formula One Grand Prix, hence this Red Bull t-shirt. I want to share 3 really big lessons from this trip that I think will really make a difference in your life and in your business. So sit tight for a few moments. Number 1, a really tragic thing happened at the race. This was actually quite shocking. Formula One is kind of the upper tier of racing. Formula 2 is one notch below it. And on the Saturday, after the F1 qualifying, the F2s went out and they had their actual race. And a couple of laps into the race, there was a horrific crash. Like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. And it's actually something I would wish I'd rather didn't see. It was very disturbing. So 2 drivers were taken to hospital immediately. One of them passed away that evening. It was shocking for us to, as spectators, to see that and kind of hear about it. But it was also really, really troubling for a lot of the drivers in the F1 because they had to drive the next day. They canceled the F2 race right after that crash, and then a lot of the F1 drivers didn't even want to race the next day because a lot of them were friends with this driver and so forth. So a really upsetting way to kind of go through the weekend. It was an amazing event, but obviously that you never want to see that. The lesson from that is, listen, like, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. We only have today. We only have now. And I want to encourage you to live every day to the fullest. Like, don't procrastinate. Don't hesitate. Don't think that you're going to make a decision 10 years down the road. Do it now. Do it today. Tell somebody you love them. Appreciate the people you have around you. Appreciate what you have. And don't take anything for granted because you never know. So that's the first lesson. The second lesson is the more you pay, the more access you get. So if we look at tickets to an F1 race, for instance, you've got basic tickets where you can sit around different aspects of the course, different parts of the course. And then you have things like the Paddock Club, which is where you pay quite a bit more, but you have access to the teams, you can meet the drivers, you have access to better food, on demand, champagne, all the stuff is free, or not free because you paid for it. So that's an example of you really get what you pay for. And if you want more access and if you want a better experience, then you're going to pay a little bit more money. So if you think about your clients, if you think about selling something for the cheap, why? Why not give them a Paddock Club experience? Charge more, give them an amazing experience, get them to show up, get them better results because you've gone above and beyond to create something amazing for them. And if that's not something you're currently doing, then I want to encourage you to do so. Third is you get what you expect, not what you want. So we were flying back from Brussels, connecting through Munich and back to Toronto. And we got to the airport to get our boarding passes. The flight attendant, the check-in person at Lufthansa told us that we had our boarding passes for the first flight from Brussels to Munich, but not the second flight. And I thought to myself, well, how? We booked these flights months ago. How's that possible? We had booked premium economy. I don't usually fly business class with my kids. That's not true. Sometimes I do. Anyways, so they said, listen, we don't know if we can get you on the flight. You'll have to see when you get to Munich. So the thing here was that we only had a 1-hour connection between Brussels and Munich. And I knew this going into that. And what had happened the night before was I was just about to go to bed and I was reviewing our timetable for the travel day. So, making sure everything was, we got where we needed to get to in time. And I knew that we had this 1-hour connection in Munich, and Munich's airport is not the friendliest. Like a lot of European airports are not the friendliest for quick, seamless connections going through border control and security and stuff. So I could have worried about that, and I could have said to myself, you know what, man, I don't know if I'm going to make this flight. It's going to be really challenging, whatever. But I decided to change what I was expecting from that next day. So I went to bed and I visualized everything working out perfectly for us. I'm talking a smooth, seamless connection. Everything's on time and then some, right? So exactly what I wanted. And it wasn't just that I wanted it, but I knew it was going to happen. So here we are at Brussels airport. and get our first boarding pass, get on the flight, everything's good. We take off on time, land on time, and then we book it. Like we were like running out of the plane, you know, those people that run out of the plane if it's happened to you, you know what I'm talking about. And we're just like gunning it because we had to go to the other side of the airport to catch the next flight. And we get to border control, and this thing is like, there's no way we're gonna get through this thing and make our flight on time. And so I said, listen, sometimes you gotta do whatever you gotta do to get what you wanna get. And I went right to the front of the line and I started asking people, I said, listen, my flight's leaving in 25 minutes. I don't care what's going on. I need to go through the border control here. And everyone's like, I guess, you know, whatever. And then right beside that, there was a family line. So I expedited the whole process. We got through border control in 5 minutes, ran to the gates, got to the gate, go to the desk. People are already starting to board the plane. We had our boarding passes with no seats on them. And I told the flight attendant, I'm like, hey, listen, are we on the plane or not? Like, we don't have our seat numbers. And she's like, yeah, just give me the names. She looks in the computer, yeah, you guys are all good. I was like, cool, like, do I get the boarding passes? And she's like, no, we'll print them off when you check in through the gates. So just go back in the line. So I'm with my kids and I'm like, hey, like, they're like, are we flying business class or premium economy? I'm like, I don't know, we'll find out. But in the back of my head, I knew. So we get to the front, check in, scan the boarding pass, and then our new seat numbers print out. And what do I see printing out? Business class, 2G, business class, business class. And I'm thinking to myself, thank you. So the moral of the story here is you get what you expect. I expected the best to happen or to come from this situation. I wasn't worrying, I wasn't doubting, I wasn't fearful. I was expecting exactly what I wanted to happen and then some. And that's exactly what we got. So we flew business class, 9-hour flight on the way home. Kids loved it. It was an amazing experience. And I don't say that to brag. I don't say that because I'm not special, whatever. But you know, you get what you expect, and I want to encourage you to expect more from life. Expect more from situations, and don't let doubt, fear, worry creep into that. Because if you don't have what you want in life, it's simply because doubt is blocking it. So this requires training. You gotta train your mind, visualize, affirm, see and feel what you want to have as if it's already here, because it is. You just have to open your eyes, your consciousness, to see it all around you. So those are 3 lessons I wanted to share from our trip. It was an amazing time. Yeah, so those are the 3 lessons. I hope they make sense for you. And if you ever have a chance to go to Belgium, it's a beautiful country. It's really, really nice. And anyways, I hope you have an amazing day. Hope this video inspires you in some way, shape, or form. And I'll see you soon.